Number one. A few more. One last thing, guys. So, although our revenue forecast is down, our cost forecast is also down. And that leaves us with a net position which is broadly similar to what we had previously forecast at $36 billion US. Lovely figure, very big by any measure, but when you translate that into margin, it's a margin of 3.7%, and that remains a wafer-thin margin for the airline industry. I think it's been something that's frustrated everybody, particularly for airlines who are waiting to take delivery of aircraft or who have aircraft sitting on the ground that they would love to see in service. So what we're trying to do is, working together to better understand where the pinch points are, to get a more accurate assessment of the forecast, so at least we can get more certainty around when issues will be resolved. And as I said, I've noticed a change in behavior. But in the short term, it certainly means that we're operating aircraft for longer than had been anticipated, and thereby adding to the fuel burn, because these aircraft are less efficient, and the fuel burn obviously adds to CO2 production. So as I said, this isn't a positive thing, it's quite negative in the short term, but we would expect manufacturers to get on top of these problems and to get us back on track as soon as possible. The reality of it is, anybody who's facing a tariff will challenge themselves as to how much of that they can absorb and how much of that are they likely to pass on to their consumers. So I have sympathy for manufacturers who are facing tariff costs, because they obviously will be trying to do the best thing, but ultimately when I look at this, I see that consumers are going to have to end up paying for any higher costs that the industry faces. We would prefer not to be in this environment. The supply chain is a global supply chain, and it's going to be incredibly difficult, if not impossible, to replace existing suppliers with domestic suppliers. So, I continue to believe that the world is a better place for everybody if aircraft and engines are excluded from the tariff regime.